Welcome to the MOOCs course Community Engagement and Social Responsibility. Today we will discuss Unit 2 entitled Community Engagement in Entrepreneurship. This unit is divided into two modules. Today we will discuss Module 2 titled Community Development and Engagement Programs. In the third part of Module 2, we will learn about formal, informal leaderships, self and collective determinations, and community partnerships, assets and strengths. In the previous part, we learned about Merada, its timeline, and case studies. So what is this leadership? The leadership is basically depends upon two things. It is basically divided into two types, that is formal leaderships and informal leadership. So first of all we will study or we will know about the formal leadership, that what is it? Formal leadership is a circumstance in which an individual is officially recognized as a head of a group or organization. Decision making, responsibility, influence and authority come with this position. They also respect for the responsibility and authority of the position. There are many stakeholders which are attached to this formal leader. Formal leaders often are limited in their ability to move left or right. They have some limitations for their work. Formal leaders can benefit from informal leaders. They can be benefited from the informal leaders. What are the informal leaders? We will discuss later. And their ability to change their status or to challenge their status. So let's take an example to study the formal leadership. The example is like this: if we have a corporation or in a company where a CEO, which can be a formal leader, which can be treated as a formal leader. So they are responsible. The CEO of a company is responsible for directing all resources and operations and making decisions that lead the company to profitability. Also, as the highest ranking executive of the organization, they officially have more authority than others within the company. So this is about the formal leadership, in which we have a person which is the head of a group, and he will decide or she will decide about the priorities which can make their company to profit. The next is the type of leadership is informal leadership. Informal leadership is when an individual does not have an official status, means they have not designated as a leader or as a group. They just as a group, they just as a work in the group members, and the group members see him or her as a group leader. Informal leadership requires personal courage and risk taking. Informal leaders create influence and informal authority without benefits of formal titles. Networks of informal leadership can be a powerful force. Informal leaders often use creative deviance strategy. So let's take an example of informal leader. An example of informal leader is a colleague who is well known for their intelligence, wisdom, and interpersonal qualities. This person is not necessarily a high ranking member of the organization, but others respect them and typically go them for advice and knowledge about procedures. In meetings, they might frequently offer actionable insights that lead to the resolution of the problems. If they provide instructions, others often head it willingly. So this is all about the informal leadership. So for having a successful health group, we will have some type of formal leaders in that, and we also have some informal leaders in that. To get to this informal leadership, one should have a self-determination. So the idea of self-determination is basically about the individual judgment and freedom, which gradually become more prominent. The idea of self-determination has strong resonances in political theories. There is a type of self-determination, that is collective self-determination, which could mean various things, but most importantly today it means national self-determination. The idea that each nation should be self-governed. Demand for national self-determination may not be a demand for outright statehood. The idea of self-determination gains special prominence. Now, these are the different parameters of collective self-determination. One should be have choice making. So they will provide opportunities for choice. The other thing is they should be problem solving. So in this they can coach the others through a problem by asking instead of answering, allow to others to make their own mistakes and then discuss the task. So in the problem solving, we just figure out any problem and then this problem is being discussed by the other members to find out their mistakes and to discuss the task, what to do and how to do to solve these problems. The third one is goal setting. So this allows others to explore their wants, needs and goals. The next one is decision making. They provide opportunities for decision making. In this, we will provide a person to decide what they want to do. The next is self-regulation. They allow others to monitor the process using some checklists. So if we are working in a field, so we have to find out the checklist for that, if the work is done properly or not. So we should be ready with some checklist. The next thing is leadership. They provide others opportunities to lead a class or small group activities. The next is self-advocacy. This is also a part of collective self-determination. Self-advocacy means they have to model and practice communicating one's needs, coach the others or use of some positive phrases for seeking assistance. The last one is self-awareness, in which we will coach others in exploration of inventory in their skills. So this is all about the self-determination. Now, what is community partnerships? What we mean about this? Community partnership is the collaborating with the local community. If there is a community nearby, so if we want to interact with them, we have to work with them, then it is known as community partnerships. So in this, we are collaborating with a local community based groups to increase community citizens' engagement in the local decision making. Community organizations share aims, collaborate and exchange resources and information. Their main aim of this is to improve the community health, well-being and social function. And this can be done by exploring their resources. So now what are the community assets and strengths? Community assets is basically about the members of the community talents and abilities, their physical location or buildings, a company which can cater peoples with dementia. So in this we are basically studying or we are basically dealing with the positive part of a community, what they are having, what type of abilities they have, what type of strength they have. So we have to explore those strengths and we have to work for those strengths to have a community development. For example, if we have a village or we have a community which is basically developed in their agricultural area, so we have to take this agricultural field and to develop these agricultural points so that they can have a development in that area. If we have a community with a resource of water, so we should do some type of ponds and fisheries in that area so that the person in that community can be benefited. So a company should be there which can cater people. They can also provide some private, public and non-profit organization in the areas. To begin with, there should be a list of many communities resources which are being often used, like such as supermarkets, churches, recreational facilities, etc. There should be individuals and communities may be used to make community assets or to build successful solutions to enhance social inclusion, and they can improve residents and also in the improvement of health and well-being. Organization, association and person are just some examples of the assets. So in a community, the assets will be like the people because they have the knowledge about these. They have practicing some type of work for a very long time period. So we can use that expertise to have a community development. So the main assets for a community development are people and associations and organizations which are working in that field. So in this part, we discussed formal and informal leaderships, self and collective determinations and community partnerships. In the next part, we will learn about the community-driven actions, community-driven developments and phases. Thank you.